Hey car builders, working on my 1969 307 Green Machine Camaro. Went ahead and named it the Green Machine for now. If you had a big wheel growing up like I did, you know what a Green Machine was, right? Sure you do. They were awesome. Anyway, working on this fender, still the underside, and doing the rust cleaning and getting it all de-rusted and using just about every tool I can find in the book to get it off of there and get down in these grooves with these little discs, 2-inch discs that are 12 bucks a pop at Napa. Uh, Nylon wheels, wire wheels, uh, air tools, drills, just to make it go easier and faster, but it all boils down to elbow grease and it just takes time. And it's surface rust, but there's so much of it all over the surface, it's all got to come off, and there's really no quick way because it's all uneven surfaces in there, and there's not one tool that'll just do the whole thing. I've got a bigger stripping disc, I've used those already, and now I'm down to the smaller tools in the grooves and down in these nooks and crannies and stuff to where it's hard to get at. But I've got a massive amount of hours in this fender already, and I have a question for the YouTube family. Uh, you know, it's important to me that the car stays original, but how important is it really to maintain the value of the vehicle in the future? And like, say you want to show the vehicle and it's got as much as the original steel and as much as the original nuts and bolts, because all those things can be purchased. Fender's 350 bucks and you can slap it in and paint it and be done. Every nut and bolt, is bagged and tagged, and every nut and bolt has a symbol on it. I've noticed, and so does that matter? You could buy a whole nut and bolt kit for the entire car for like 250 bucks. So, that's my question out there. I hope I'm doing it right, and I want to do it right. Other question is, how far down do you have to go with the rust? It's smooth now. It's pretty close to just getting a chemical wipe down and put some rust treatment on it, and then it'd be ready for some sort of primer or rubberized undercoat. This is going, wheel well's going over that, so it's the underside. I think from the factory it was just black primer under there and sealer. Nothing heavy, not like a rubberized coating, but just I want it to last a long time, so I'm hoping I can get some tips and pointers from you guys to tell me what to do on the underside. And am I doing it right? Am I doing it, overdoing it, underdoing it? How far down does the rust need to go? Once that's all done under there, then I'll be working on the top side. Still have a fender patch kit that needs installed, cut out and welded in here, and then body work on this big dent that I pounded out, and gonna hold off here and let a pro take it from there, because I don't want to mess it up or make it any worse. I want the top side to look perfect, so let them take it from there. And what else? Cleanup, rust treatment, primer, undercoat, and yeah, so I priced the fender patches, and it was $350 an hour for a welder for the first hour, and then $150 an hour after that, and that's just the labor. So that was, probably $4 or $5 grand, and then the chemical dip was $5 grand. That was $3,000 to do the body, $2,000 to do the frame, and the car had to be completely stripped by yourself anyway, and down to every nut and bolt. So that's close to 10 grand saved doing it myself by hand. I think there were some things I saw online that you could wipe on and the rust just scrapes off or comes off, but tried a couple and they didn't work real well. I'm sure there's probably something better out there, but while I have time, I'm just sanding and wire wheeling and grinding away on it. It's close now. I'll have the other one to do after this. It just needs a fender patch on the other fender. Don't know how bad the underside is yet. The wheel well's still in that one. And but this was the worst of the two. So hopefully that one will go faster. So yeah, saving a lot of money, but have some questions as far as, like, you know, is it worth the amount of hours you're saving on doing it yourself, or, you know, to maintain the value of the vehicle, or do you just, you know, what are guys doing? Are they buying a fender and putting it on? You know, a whole fender is like $400, and to pay a welder to do that patch and a body tech to do that, you know, this big dent on this side, you know, and then 2 quarter panel patches, and then the upper cowl and the dash panel need welded in as well. You know, you can buy a fender, and I'm just trying to weigh the value. Does it really balance out when you keep the car as original as possible in the long run? So I could really use some answers on that, reaching out. So with that, I appreciate you, and hopefully can get some answers and tune back in and let you know what I find out. Thanks.